Here's my free advice to you. Stop fighting. There's nothing to fight about. If you fight like this, white people are going to come and take your land in Zimbabwe, and you're going to be colonized again. White people don't care for Chamisa off now. Here's my advice, political advice. First, have a power sharing arrangement between Mnangagwa and Chamisa. Let's see how you can run that, but you can agree. Give Chamisa to be president, Mnangagwa to be deputy president for the first half of the time, and then the last half of the time you can give to Mnangagwa, and Chamisa becomes the deputy president. That's a proper deal. But ZANU-PF, since it has a majority in parliament, it must always support the proposition made by Chamisa. That's a proper power sharing arrangement. Then amnesty, general amnesty to all the patriots of Zimbabwe, in particular those who are in exile as a result of the coup. This is very important. Amnesty, those brothers and sisters, those patriots in Zimbabwe who were forced to leave their country must be allowed to come back in Zimbabwe, and they must be left alone. That's one thing. But the other important consideration is that Mugabe must be recognized by law as the founding father of Zimbabwe, and he must be respected as such. Leave the old man alone, leave him in his pension, make sure he's protected, make sure he's valorized, make sure that his contributions and his sacrifices are understood and his legacy is protected. That's a political deal that I am putting on the table. Stop fighting Zimbabweans. There's nothing to fight about. If you continue to fight like this, you allow the enemy to come between you, and soon Zimbabwe will be a colony again. If Chamisa and Mnangagwa was to come together with a proper power sharing deal, you will be able to stabilize the economy. You will be able to speak with one voice, even against all, for the investments that you need, which will not be for the colonization of Zimbabwe. Even the Chinese, you'll be able to engage them as one voice. You will be able to get a deal which promotes Zimbabwe, brings stability in Zimbabwe, but also those patriots who are outside of Zimbabwe running away from their own country will be allowed to come back, and you'll normalize the political situation in Zimbabwe in this sense that you will have those brothers and sisters participating in the political life of Zimbabwe with no consequences. That's my suggestion. Let's think about a political solution in Zimbabwe. Elections, court challenges are not going to solve the problem. Chamisa will not run Zimbabwe without the army. The army will not run Zimbabwe without Chamisa. That is a stalemate. You want to break it through a political compromise of all parties involved. Okay, now there was a big shock last week in South Africa. The government of Ramaphosa plans to fire 30,000 civil servants. And this apparently was discussed in the ANC highest decision-making body. 30,000 workers will lose their jobs. If you take one worker representing about 5 families, 5 people, you can imagine how many people are affected. At the same time, Impala Platinum is also threatening to cut 13,000 jobs. So there's a bloodbath of joblessness being created by the Ramaphosa administration. Well, basically it's this. The economy is not doing well. So what they want to do, they save costs so that they can get more profits. And the best way to do this is to basically cut the employment of our people. The attack on employment of our people is a political decision to save profits for white monopoly capital and make money for white monopoly capital at the expense of our people. Ramaphosa is leading the charge, showing white capital and private employers that it's okay to fire people if you want to protect your profits. We must reject this. It must not be allowed. Ramaphosa must not be allowed to chop off those jobs, 30,000 jobs. We must say no. The same way, Impala Platinum must be nationalized. You know, when the Guptas or what they call Oak Bay, it was said that jobs must go. People said nationalize Oak Bay mines. Today, why not Impala Platinum? Impala Platinum is going to make us lose jobs because of profits. We are simply saying nationalize Impala Platinum. That any big company that is shedding many jobs, nationalize it. Save the jobs, nationalize it. That is the best solution. They will fear to simply cut jobs when they make very bad decisions and they're making our people to lose jobs. So we are saying nationalize Impala Platinum, save the jobs. You know, in a few programs in the past, I've raised the concept of accumulation by crisis. In other words, they create a crisis and then they privatize, and then how they make money. I'm sure you all have heard that NSFAS, the student scheme, is in trouble. Firstly, they said they are not allowing for students to come make application for next year. Now we know that the chairperson of this scheme, NSFAS, some Mngxitama chip, has resigned. Now, Mngxitama comes from the banking sector. They have created a serious crisis for this state-funded student funding scheme, because they want to make sure that the banks become the beneficiaries of a situation where they say, oh, NSFAS no longer can provide for free education because there's a crisis. The banks are ready to give you loans which must be guaranteed by the state. Remember, that was the proposal from the Education Commission. You know, President Zuma, when he was president, he set up a commission to look at free education. That commission said, yes, provide loans through the banks guaranteed by the state. In other words, if the student default, which they will because we have no money, government must pay the banks. So it's a scheme not to serve the students, but to serve the banks. Now, what they are doing, Mngxitama included, we believe, they are destroying the student scheme so that free education announced by President Zuma is removed. That's what they are doing, because they want the banks to benefit from giving us loans and the destitution of black students who need to be supported. So we are not surprised at all that NSFAS is in this trouble. Banks want money, banks want profit, banks want to profit from free education, and they have done this program. Can you please give me one of the... oh, I have one. So, be careful what is happening. The resignation of Mngxitama, the crisis in NSFAS, is a self-created crisis to run what we call accumulation by crisis. You create it. Now we also know that SAA, there's a serious crisis going on there, and Pravin Gordhan is saying SAA must come under his ministry. Pravin Gordhan, every time there is he moves around the ministries, he keep on taking SAA under his wings. So they are deepening the crisis in SAA because they want to privatize it, and once they privatize it, just like with the banks, his friends will make money. Friends of Pravin, and of course the friends of your president today, Cyril Ramaphosa. So don't be surprised, this crisis in the state-owned entities are self-created so that they can accumulate by crisis. Okay, I want to deal quickly with the issue. Remember, later on we're going to have Thabi Myeni, and then we're going to have our brother Gayton Mckenzie. But let me just round off my discussion for the week in terms of the news that not make the news with, you know, there's something that is happening which is not making the news, or if it's making the news, it is being presented as the Somalis are selling us poison. The Somalis are selling us expired goods. Pakistani, Somalis, Bangladeshis who run spaza shops are selling us very bad goods. I'm not disputing this. We must do more research. In fact, I know Black First Land First is going to have a program to go and investigate and inspect and to defend the township economies. But the news which don't make the news is this: white monopoly capital. When you go to ShopRite, Checkers and buy maize meal, that's poison. That's poison. The foods that we eat, tin fish, tin food, even when they say it is within the time when it's not expired, it is poison. The sugar they put in there, the amount of preservatives, all this is poison that kills you. Let's come to maize. We all eat pap. We all love pap, South Africans. Well, that pap is poison. It's going to kill you. It's going to give you cancer. That's the truth. It's going to give you diabetes. gonna, all the ailments we have in South Africa are caused by what we eat. And what we eat is very bad. But the news which don't make the news is that it is white monopoly capital that is primarily poisoning the nation through these foods which are genetically modified. Over 90% of the maize that we eat is genetically modified. Let me repeat that. Every morning you eat pap, lunchtime you eat pap. Some of us eat pap in the evening, eating a lamb or eat pap katatu. So in other words, katatu is feeder, poison. No, but if Polish leli uphuthu ukuma kumbila okhandwe abamhlophe akusiwona umbila lo. We are no longer eating maize that is a genetically modified organism. It is created by chemicals, manipulation of the genes of the plants to give us poison. So when you say the Somalis and the Bangladeshis and the Pakistanis are giving us food which is poison, you are right. But please do not forget the food that you go buy at ShopRite Checkers, even at Woodwards, Pep Store food, or okay, what is it there? Okay, anymore. I don't know these things anymore. Okay, kona lenye kutwa yini food le, the one with the green thing, Spa, Checkers, ShopRite, Spa, okay. All of those places, the food that you buy there is actually poison. So they're poisoning. What we need to do is to think about how best we can defend ourselves, including BLF has last week submitted a bill to Parliament, or rather responded to the bill in Parliament on tobacco. Tobacco is poison. They're making poison, and we know who those are. Next week, I will read to you part of the BLF submission and tell you that people like Johan Rupert and Mazzotti are making money. Adriano Mazzotti, you know, the founder of EFF, make money out of selling us poison, tobacco. And we know what tobacco does to our lungs, what it does to young people, and how it is actually addictive. This is the problem. Once you start smoking, you are hooked. You can't get out. And they are promoting this stuff and making it look glamorous because they want to make profit out of your unwell-being. Okay, so that's it. When we talk about the poisonous food in the spaza shops, please remember it is not just those. Every big business selling you poison. There are children who are in the street making noise. You know how children are, they're having a bit of fun. And moving from that, I want to talk about China, and then I'll ask my guest to be ready to come. China. Also, I see there are a lot of China discussion. China is bad. China, you know, we must come back to this because we said last week, we must repeat it. There is an attack on China by white monopoly capital, by the World Bank and IMF. They see that China is beginning to work well with some African countries in terms of investments and so on. We are being worked up to see China as the enemy. What we need as Africans is to go into a good deal with China. China is the people of the money today. Chinese are not colonialists. It is us who are failing to enter into good deals with China to make sure that we have mutual beneficial relationship with China. But I see the media is not telling the truth. The news which don't make the news is the fact that China is a threat to the World Bank and the IMF, which has colonized Africa for as long as it's happened. So be careful when you see the news about China is bad. No, we must tell China what China must do and what relationship we should have with China. But be careful not to become a propagandist for white monopoly capital by simply saying, oh, China is horrible, China is bad, we must not do business with China. Okay, at this point, I'm going to ask my sister Thabi Myeni to join me. Thabi Myeni is the leader of, rather the secretary. Comrade, how are you? Secretary for
Gender and Sexuality.
For gender and sexuality. This is about gender sexuality. Comrade Thabi, you're welcome to this amazing program. It's called Mngxitama on Sunday. We go live and we discuss matters which white monopoly capital will not discuss. But I see there's a very nice menu here. I don't know if you've seen. There's a menu, it's got light stuff, main dishes. If I just to go for the main dishes, maybe we'll have a main dish later. This is, we told you, we're coming out to Rivonia on deck. Rivonia on deck, that is their menu. See the menu, hard body chicken. Inkuku yesintu le. Because about umleko. You can get umleko up at Gayton Mckenzie in Rivonia on deck. Very nice. That's my favorite, by the way. When I come here, I go for the hard body, but it's umleko. There's some hold, inyama yangaphakathi. Ulusu. And then kune takwana. Takwana is the beef trotters. Mangeni.
Oh, Mangeni.
Then kube nenyama yenhloko.
Inyama yenhloko.
Bese kube lamb curry. Bese kube jollof rice. Have you tried jollof rice?
I've tried it.
Is it nice?
It's nice.
Jollof rice. The Comrade is nice.
It's a Ghanaian specialty.
Ghanaian specialty. And then you have ugusi soup with fried chicken. Have you tried ugusi?
No, I
Ugusi goes like pa pa. You take it, you roll it, you cut it, you eat it. Is amazing.
I'll try. We must try it. Today.
And I also see they have jollof. I think I'm gonna try jollof with goat meat.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they have a champion fish. There's also goat meat and stew, man, pepper soup. So this, well, I mean, I'm very hungry now, just looking at all these foods. Anyway, Comrade Thabi, thanks for making time to be on this program. I want us to quickly just go through. I see Blackfest, Landfest as a program where his Deputy President, Comrade Andile has been talking. Tell us a little bit about that.
Blackfest, Landfest will have a series of Women's Day events throughout the country for the duration of August. Of course, August is framed in society as this month where women come together under gender solidarity and they march hand in hand to sort of fix gender-based violence. But we as BLF want to redefine what women's solidarity is and what women's liberation is. And so these talks are going to help sort of drive the conversation deeper. For instance, we cannot, there's something very disturbing about black women marching hand in hand with white women who continue to benefit from the very violence that is inflicted on black women.
So you're talking about, in particular, there was a march 2 weeks ago?
The total shutdown on the 1st of August.
Okay.
It was a facade, it was a farce, because even if we were to remove black men, which it problematized basically, if we were to remove them from the equation, we would still experience the same violence from the system.
I mean, talking about the total shutdown, and the target of this march is black men. And as you say, white women are... So basically, immediately they march with white women against black men. He's got a white man as the partner. I'm not going to, but it disturbed me a lot if this is true, that the black women genuinely have issues.
It's a problem, it doesn't make sense because
I think it's called
Stockholm syndrome. Yes, and it's a sad thing, and it's completely disturbing.
So let us talk about the program. So we had the one is all the way at VUT where the Deputy President spoke of the DLF, and I know that there's 2 more programs coming up, and 3 more. So can you just when can we expect what?
Okay, so next week on the 18th of August, the Deputy President will be in Free State, and then the following week, which is the 25th or 26th of August, we will be in Western Cape. And then we will close the tour basically in KZN on the 31st of August on a Friday.
So there's a lot of activities coming to our movement, Blackfest, Landfest, on this month. But why are is it August rather, the only time that we're going to see activities like this? Why is October designated? So after August, we all must go back to our...
No, not at all. We used August specifically to sort of reconstruct how August would look like. So we have a black woman who is going around the country teaching this black politics and enlightening people about ways that we can actually fight gender-based violence as black people. So we're trying to disturb the system that they have said is normal. This thing of gender solidarity on August, because we understand that at the end of the day, white women go back to the land that we were dispossessed of. And we are still kafirs in the system that they preside over.
Now, I know one of the things that Black First Land First is raising is a code.
Yes.
We have the code of what we call sellouts, but there's another code. Would you maybe summarize to us what this new code is about?
This code is called the Black Code on Women's Liberation and Black Intersections, on Black Women and Black Intersections Liberation. It's a short thing, 10 points about how we, what our position is, what our statement is on what is going on, and what our way forward is, and our solutions that are black-centered and put us first. Yes.
You are able to read maybe some
I can
elements?
read a few points of it.
So that is the Black
Code on Black Women and Black Intersections Liberation.
On Black Women.
And Black intersections are people who define themselves as queer, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, etc.
Okay, you heard it. So can you please just go to some of the points you think are important for you? And then I think we will have to try to read this and distribute it. Will people get it?
Yes. Yes. So the first point is a black woman's place is not in the kitchen, it's in the revolution. And that's a permanent position for all of us. Secondly is white women benefit from the dispossession of black women like white men and are therefore our enemies, not allies. Never our allies. I think another important one is that the only way to protect black children is to educate them for liberation as soon as they can speak. Because black boys grow up to be black men, and black girls grow up to be black women who continue to be violated by the same system. So as soon as they can speak, it's very important for us to actively educate them for liberation, so that they survive the system. And then I think the most important one, and you like this one, it says, defend black sisters from racial, sexual attacks without question, no matter what. We ask questions later, we defend first. It's not about liking someone, it's a principled ideological position. You must defend black sisters, you defend black people, you don't ask questions. You defend it, you defend them, and you ask questions later.
Thank you. Comrade Thabi, now that you raise the issue of defending black people, in this case black women, queer people, black people and so on. In the total shutdown march, there's a story that in fact, and I mean this the news will not make the news. The fact that somebody of the stature of Thabi Somazwai and Sister Bev Tiye were harassed, paper sprayed and pushed around. But that story not make the news. I mean, I don't understand why this story not make the news.
It didn't happen unless it happened to white women. Violence did not happen unless it happened to white women. If white women were put in that position, the news would have been all over the place. But because it was black women, and the system just does not care. You can participate, but you are not valued, you mean nothing to us. Black bodies are undermined, undervalued, and overpoliced.
But I also was thinking that is it that the reason why this news not make the news is because this unethical solidarity between black women and white women in that situation dictated that even black sisters were not outraged. I mean, I don't understand. It was like almost, the solidarity must be protected.
The solidarity must always be protected. It's unprincipled, it's unethical solidarity. That's why it's such a dangerous thing, because it allows black women to be violated, and it presides over that in a way.
They say marching with white people is in itself violence. Now, just talking about protecting black children and solidarity, there's a new book, The Lost Boys of Bird Island. Now, sister, this book written by Myeni and Chris, these are both men, by the way, Chris Stein. It's about the apartheid ministers, including Magnus Malan, who was the Minister of Defense, the big guy. They were abducting black children and raping them in some island. They were abducting black children and raping them. And this book has come out 30 years after they have known this. White people have known about this. They have kept quiet. 30 years later they come out. You know, for me, sister, is that, and comrade Tab, is that they, of course, Maglas Malam, they waited for him to die. And then the two other involved, they name are dead. They say they committed suicide. There's a fourth one who's alive, who's on holiday. They say the publishers got legal advice that they must not name who this man is. I'm just saying, if we put a black, let's just imagine, if it was black politicians, black ministers who had been abducting children and raping them, would their names also be protected?
We would have known their names, where they live, if their families are still there. We would have known everything about them. The story would have been everywhere, even internationally. That's how far they would have taken it. But because it's white men, and you must always protect the white man. The white man, white supremacy must always prevail in such instances, and in everywhere, for instance. So this is very shocking, and it hasn't been in the news.
The news did not make the news. That the apartheid ministers, one of them at least alive, and I think I have a very good idea who this is. We are going to expose this man.
We must expose him.
We will expose this man.
We must expose him. He must go to jail.
He must go to jail, must be. But also, you know, Comrade Thabi, what I found shocking was, this book has been out now for almost a month, I think. There's small reports here and there. Our South African, you know, general people who make big noise about gender-based violence have said nothing about this. How's this?
Because it's black boys.
Black boys don't matter.
Black boys do not matter also to white supremacy. White supremacy does not care about black boys.
So black boys can be raped by white men, and these white men will not also be named. But if this was black men,
it also exposes the nature of these NGOs. They are driven by an agenda. They are driven by an agenda that is anti-black and anti-black women and anti-black men, anti-black, basically. That's their agenda. It exposes how they don't care about violence itself. They just care about what they will gain out of pretending that they care.
Thank you, Comrade Thabi, for joining us. And we're going to ask Comrade Gayton Mckenzie to join us right now. But Comrade Thabi, I'm shocked that a book is out. A book says what happened. Black boys abducted, raped. By the way, one of them murdered. It's not just rape and murder. And murder. It is not big news. It is not raise any outrage. In fact, they even
all those type of stuff. Nobody before him. That was a no-go zone. But he went there, and most of the things that's happening to him is because he dared going there.
Now, instructed by, I think it's Johan Rupert, about if Zuma makes this decision,
I'll make Zimbabwe.
And Fikile Mbalula has not come out and said you are lying.
No, in fact he came out to say it's the truth.
So there you are, Johan Rupert threatening the
state president
that if you make a decision against Pravin, I will destroy the economy.
Yes.
Isn't that economic terrorism?
It is. It is a threat against the state. It's high treason. If I was president, it's either he would have been already in front of what they call this
firing squad.
Firing squad. High treason.
A matter going on right now. Politics. You are in business, you are in politics.
Yes.
I don't want us to go into the details, but I just want to express my appreciation on a principle that you have practically realized that we should not be greedy for power and positions. What is happening in Nelson Mandela Bay? Julius Malema and the EFF brought in Trollip. You are trying to remove the man. And it seemed to have been an agreement between you and opposition together with the EFF to remove Trollip. But these chaps of EFF in the last hour pulled off. What for me I find, Brother Gayton, really inspiring is the fact that your organization was voted democratically by the opposition party to become the mayor.
Yes.
But then Julia says, no, we don't want Gayton's people to be the mayor. And you say, fine, I walk away from the position of being a mayor. You know how beautiful the mayoral chain is. So you abandon the mayoral chain. for a bigger good. That I find, I don't know, I've never seen that happen. In politics, we all want positions. If I get a seat, I fight. I even kill people for it, but you walk away from it.
Yeah, you see, Comrade Andile, the issue that you are having here is that we as black people are our own worst enemies. You know, the issue of Nelson Mandela Bay, it was, as you say, to take 2 steps back, the trolley being removed the last time. I was written a letter, the statement was issued with our name on it, the PAs. We then offered the statement. We are now waiting for a reply, and there seems to be no reply forward. I've given them until Monday 5 p.m.
They haven't responded.
I've given them until Monday 5 p.m. If they're not going to respond by Monday, and you know, this tendency of just insulting people and thing, but when you have to face those people, then you are nowhere to be seen. But you are always there in front of cameras insulting people. That is wrong.
The thing that shocks me is how the mainstream media have not picked up this big story. Because this is a big story where a small party is introducing a principle of sacrificing freedom. The fact that he should be in the front page, Gayton Mckenzie refuses mayoral position. I mean, that's what should be in the news, because we have never seen that happen. Why do you think the media is underplaying the story?
Well, you know, the media in our country, they are a joke. The media is owned by the very rich in this country. And even if I own the media, I will do, if I pay you, you do as I tell you. That is my principle. Even if I tell a waiter here now, don't serve Andile, he's a revolutionary. Don't serve him here, this capitalist institution. You will not be served with my money. Or there'll be a waiter without a job tonight. So our media understand them. But what I want to make clear here to all the people out there is that no one can remove anyone in Nelson Mandela Bay without the Patriotic Alliance. It's a lie. It is wishful thinking. It is witchcraft. It is everything you can think of. I'm the kingmaker. The PA is the kingmaker. Now, if you not want to engage with the kingmaker, it's like playing chess without the queen. It is. There's many insults we can get them. But we didn't. We can speak about non-payment of support for the children and stuff, but we don't do that. You understand what I'm saying? That's my kids. They are free. I pay every month. Everything's fine. They're happy. Daddy's paying. So what I'm saying, but we chose not to go that route. You understand? The time is very close for black people where insults will no longer work.
That's right.
Where substance and political acumen, you know, this and this class antagonism, all those things, it's coming to an end. It's coming to an end. Black people the political mindset of black people it has ballooned to a level where you hear somebody that come from Model C school talking about the return of the land. That you must know there was an involvement, and that is happening on all spheres. So this thing where you just insult, like whether you have won the tender to insult people, that thing must come to an end. This thing of just insulting people, you've won the insult tender.
Those people who have won the insult tender, please know that situation is coming to an end. It's
coming to an end very, very quickly. People are going to discern between real politics and politics for show. Politics for show.
Politics for show, like people shooting like they came toy guns. Black business, young black business people, and we're discussing the Black Business Network. What is the Black Business Network?
You know what we're trying to do? Is what happened now 2 minutes ago. There's a big businessman here. He told me that he's going to employ a Wi-Fi, people that put in his Wi-Fi. I quickly went, we are still busy with the website. I quickly went on the website. I said, get me one of our people there. He's sitting here having a drink, he's going to get that tender now. Amazing. You understand what I'm saying? It is about, the problem with us blacks is that Gayton Mckenzie's got a little tuck shop there, Andile's got a little tuck shop, Kenny's got a little tuck shop, and we all say like my tuck shop is bigger than your tuck shop. While people are having supermarkets out here, the white people. So what the Black Business Network wants to do is to help all tuck shops become supermarket chains and to bring us together. And I've also been guilty of that. I always used to brag about my cars And what I have, and until I met real rich people, and I'm like, people break with helicopters, I'm still breaking here with a little car, boats and stuff like that. And you evolve, as I said. And what we're trying to do now with the little voice and influence I have is to bring all the black business people together, that we must be each other's crutches. We must lean on each other. We must carry each other. We must help each other. And that's the only way for black people to get out of this poverty situation. Because once we can refer business to each other, black business is the backbone of business in this country. If we decide to hold all our money back, all shops will close. But we just want to redirect the money to black accounts, black people, and that's what I'm trying to do. And the responses I've been getting was overwhelming, and we're going to go next. We're going next to KZN.
For instance, offered about over 200,000 deal to a photographer.
Yeah.
And Myeni was there now, our brother from Afroview. He said black business can come and also, advertise there. There are many things happening right there when black people are together. So this black business
that's the
network.
Power. Yeah. And I want to teach politicians like yourself and myself that we can get together. Just imagine what a force we will be. So can you see what is happening in this country? It's just white people being appointed in key institutions.
Yeah.
Those things people are just scared to say. I'm not scared. I'm just telling people the truth to say anybody that thinks there will not be a coalition government come 2019. You are drugs. There's a coalition government coming, the PA, BLF, we shall all be in the mix.
Okay. Now, what must I do to become a member of the Black Business Network?
You must attend our functions. We don't want remote members here, aloof. Say, no, I don't go to meetings. Like those people that say they're Christians, but I don't go to church. That's not those type of arrangement. You must come, your company must be there, you must be noted, so we must know.
Just a joining fee?
No, we have no joining fee for now.
I see.
What we want to say is, let's first do this thing, then the board shall decide which direction do we take it.
I see. So
nobody must get a salary. You see, that's where the problem comes. Because when somebody gets a salary, they don't want to leave that post. When the salary comes, he doesn't want to leave because it's a salary. This is a thing out of our heart.
Voluntary.
You must come and volunteer your time.
Sacrifice. The Black Business Network. Now, I know that already part of the Black Business Network is that you have a boardroom here and you send to Black Business. And I've seen the boardroom. It's amazing. It's beautiful. I mean, I say this as somebody who have seen quite a few boardrooms, even if I have no deals yet.
Yet. Emphasis on yet.
But you just tell us a little bit about that, the possibility for office support, boardroom support.
No, when I looked at how much black people pay for people's venues, I then said, I spoke to the partners at Rivonia and Deck. I said, anybody want to use Rivonia and Deck for a party, for what do you call these things of women, a baby shower, or a function, or get together, please feel free at no charge, come use this venue. If you want to use a boardroom for your meetings, come use my personal boardroom at no cost, no fee. It's for free. You don't pay. You just come so that you look also important to your people you're doing business with. Like, you don't even need to say it's my boardroom. I watched a movie one day where a guy says, I have the plane, name there. And the person says, that's your plane. He said, that's my initials. You are not lying. You understand? So what I'm saying is, we need to help each other as blacks. And that's what I want to do.
What I'm going to do later on is go to the boardroom just for a short clip. I'll sit.
Please feel free.
I will have my meeting quickly just to show you the quality. We're coming out live to you from Rivonia on Deck. In Rivonia, a beautiful place owned by our brother Gayton Mckenzie. We just had a very interesting conversation with him. We also know that we were also having problems with some of our platforms going down and up. We will put together a YouTube with almost the full conversations and the program, so please don't despair. You will get, those of you who missed parts of the conversation, we will bring it up, we'll make sure that it is sorted, and these technical problems we're going to make sure in future are sorted. We mustn't have technical programs in such an important show. There is no show as important as this one in South Africa right now. Mngxitama on Sunday, we come live from Rivonia on Deck and we say Savani Gash.